Oh boy, well, here it is. I've talked about Iran being in the scopes of the United States for a very long time, since like 2019, 2020. I often would talk about how the US is probably somehow, some way, gonna take over Iran, get all their resources, get their banking system, start a war in the Middle East, advance further agendas, and here we are in 2025, pretty much halfway through the year, and there's been so much going on every week. It's really hard to keep up with. It really truly is, because it's like week after week. There's crazy stuff going on. There's some weird thing going on overseas that affects, somehow, some way, is affecting all of us here in the United States, right? But when it comes to the surface level things, right? The When it comes to the Rothschild banking cartel, which, if you're following this channel, you should know what that is. Otherwise, you're not going to understand what I'm talking about. The history of the Federal Reserve, I'm not going to go into it, but I mean, this is like kindergarten, first grade level knowledge that people should know about. And if you don't know it, then shame on you. And at this point in 2025, when that kind of information is really not hidden anymore, because it doesn't need to be, right? We know, a lot of people know that the Federal Reserve and all that. I shouldn't say a lot, but way more people than 20 years ago, let's say, today at least, know the scam of the Fed, but people still feed the beast. They think, like, instead of trying to change the system, they can work around it and work within it, this and that. And I mean, like, it's just people want to do anything but take responsibility and change. They want to just remain the same and somehow, some way, work within the system. Think they can be all smart, do some sports betting, or start some entrepreneurial type business. Which, hey, you might be good at it, but I mean, come on, people. It's like that. We always do things for money. Money is fake, right? And again, if you knew the history of the Fed, you would know money is fake. It's gonna collapse at any given day. It was made to fail. It was not made to be a forever currency that's gonna just go on for eternity, right? It was meant to fail. The whole system as a whole, not even just financially, was meant to fail. It's just finances play a big role in it. And I'm going on a rant a little bit about finances because it has to do with Iran not being on the Rothschild banking system. I believe it's just Iran, Cuba, and North Korea, like the only three countries not on the Rothschild banking system or whatever. But I mean, it doesn't even matter, because at this point, all these governments from whatever country are on the same page. You can't not be. You can't go against these people and expect that things are going to be okay for you. You see, if more people rose up, because one country rising up, if most of the Americans rose up, yeah, things would change, because we're the world superpower or whatever. But let's just say a country like Turkey or whatever, or a country like, I don't know, in South America, like Venezuela. Let's say they wanna, for whatever reason, never speak or get completely out of the powers that be. Meaning not the USA. I'm talking the Rothschild, the oil cartels, the oil money that's been around for hundreds of years now, the people that have created Hollywood and mainstream media, and also central banks and corporations around the world that basically dictate how all of us live lives, not just here in America. If those little countries decided to just say, you know what, we're not going to comply, we're just going to do whatever the hell we want, there's going to be some sort of catastrophe there, whether that be with weather, whether that be with stirring the pot politically. I mean, I'm trying to convey to you the corruption in the world, because people can't see past the surface level of things. That's what I'm trying to pierce into people, is breaking past like the surface level. Oh, it's all politics. Oh, it's this country is different than that country. I want people to understand that no matter who you see on TV, all these people are the same. They're all the same. It's a giant script. It's a giant club that you're not a part of. It's very simple. All these different world leaders, all these different CEOs of major corporations, all these Hollywood celebrities, social media influencers, they are all one in the same. They're all pushing an agenda. It's different flavors of the agenda, making you think it's different, but it's really one and the same. And I mean, this is crazy now. I don't expect anything from people, because again, like, it's the same with COVID, right? How I was screaming and hollering to not comply with everything that was going on and take the you know what. And it's like, people called me selfish and all these things, and said that I'm just, being a conspiracy theorist or whatever. and then years later, it's people praise me now for not taking the you know what, and it's not even like the people that I warned praise me. Maybe some of my family were like, you know what, you were right about it. But besides that, not many people have really said to me at all, Justin, you were right, because people don't want to admit that I was right. And it's the same with this. I mean, again, people have had me on social media. I had an old YouTube channel. Some of you were subscribed to that one. I barely have, a following. But I always would speak about Iran and how there's going to be an attack there because it has to do with the bankers, right? Trying to take it over. They're trying to stir up the pot in the Middle East. The U.S., of course, like we always do, is going to enter a war that we have no business in because, of course, again, Israel and the U.S. are the same thing. I don't people like think they're different. Like it's the same thing. Okay, the Israel wouldn't exist without the U.S. The Israel wouldn't exist without the Rothschild family, the same people who started the Fed here in the United States. I mean, people like again, do you see how the dots all connect to like the same people and how this is like there's a giant occult that essentially it has their hand in pretty much every industry across the world. And here's the thing about conservatives, right? Conservatives are so quick to say, let's go to war because they think war is peace, right? And all this stuff. They think that the wars are gonna solve all the issues or whatever, or it's gonna solve the current problem and make peace, right, in the Middle East by killing millions and millions of innocent people that have nothing to do with the war. You see, it's not military people that are really dying. It's just innocent civilians. This is all blood sacrifices for the occult. This is there's so many agendas going on right now that are coming together, and we're very close to the new world order being here. I mean, it's at the door. Like the door is opening basically. It's been at the door for a long time. It's opening. It's just sneaking in now, with most people not noticing because they fall for political scams. Like here's conservatives will say, well, let's go to war. Let's end the Middle East because there's terrorists out there who hate America. They hate our freedom. They're jealous of us. Let's go kill all of them because we're so afraid that one day I might be, out in the street and a bomb might just go off, right? They put you in fear. And the conservatives are so hyper masculine. They're all about the war, the military, the police. Let's send our sons and daughters who, mind you, it's so easy. I know so many conservatives who want to go to war, but their sons and daughters aren't in the service, right? What if your sons and daughters were in the service? Would you still feel that same way? It's so easy for a conservative who has no affiliation with anyone that they know, even in the service, saying, let's go fight them and kill them all, right? Like you see in movies, right? And all these things of bombs and video games, of violence, right? And the conservatives are just they believe in military control. They believe in war only when it benefits them. If the opposite political party was in office right now and they were doing all this stuff and they were bringing war over here to the U.S., the conservatives would not be happy about it. But because Donald Trump is doing it, it's Trump derangement syndrome on both ends. One side hates him, one side loves him. The side that loves him right now, the conservatives, they can't see the wrong in him. Because they keep just saying, it's better than Kamala, the lesser of the two evils. Oh my God, can you imagine if Kamala was there? Oh my God, you must be a Democrat if you don't support Donald Trump. I mean, it's such childlike behavior. And then and then these are the extremes, right? These are people who fall into politics, which is obviously not all Americans here. But then there's the people who just dig their head in the sand and don't give a shit, right? And that's another issue is people don't care. All these things. Listen, the powers that be are going to operate and rear end you whether you want them to or not. So you can ignore it. You're basically saying, you know what, I'm just going to keep getting rear ended. I don't really care. I'm just going to take it because I just don't care for whatever reason. You're just that spiritually and morally decayed of a human being, right? That you just don't care. And then there's other people like me, right, who do care, who's trying to wake people up, who's not trying to make money off you. Wow, a podcaster's not trying to make money off you. Can you believe that? Who would have thought, right? Someone who just actually cares about humanity, genuinely cares and wants to wake people up, right? And again, with this whole Iran stuff, like what I was saying before, people don't say, they don't remember, right? The Americans don't even remember what they had for dinner last night. They don't remember what the news told them yesterday or last week. They don't remember me saying, hey, Iran is under the scopes of the United States. I'm not sure how they're gonna invade them and bomb them and do whatever it is they got to do with them, right? Or they want to do, I gotta say. But here it is now. They did it. And I don't know what's going to happen next necessarily, but they're probably just going to wipe out them. They're probably going to wipe out Gaza. They're probably going to start rebuilding for the New World Order. Who knows that maybe the false Messiah, like the Bible talks about, might come. Maybe there's going to be an alien invasion. Maybe there's going to be a worldwide blackout. I mean, who knows, man? They have us by the balls. And by us, I'm mainly talking about Americans. Because again, if most Americans rose up against the powers that be, we really would see a change in the world. Because Americans, we kind of dictate what happens around the entire world. You know, and we're armed. We're the most armed nation in the world. So amongst a potential World War III that looks like might break out, we'll see what happens. What I think is going to happen is there's probably going to be a quote unquote terrorist attack here. Maybe it's a cyber attack. Maybe it's bombs going off in a big building. Who the hell knows? But I think, and this isn't to scare people, but that there's going to be some sort of terrorist attack here on the U.S. and it's going to be blamed on Iran, and then we're just going to go full blown destroy a country again that we have nothing to do with because the U.S., of course, as usual, always inserts itself in the Middle East because there's a ton of resources out there. They want to take over the banking system. They want to have control over the world and over the people of Muslim religion, right? So amongst all that going on, you have these riots that are breaking out. I don't even know if they're really going on much anymore. It's like that's completely disappeared, that topic. You know, it's like, again, it's like every week there's a major topic that dissolves and then there's another major topic. I mean, things are happening so fast and rapidly. I can't believe we're closing in practically on July of 2025 and that it's the summer right now. By the way, I live in New Jersey. There's some crazy heat wave that's happening today and I think like the next 2 weeks. So, you know, we'll see if those of you who know about weather warfare, you know, we'll see what happens in this area. Hopefully we don't lose technology. I mean, hopefully I can get maybe internet, even if I lose some electricity, whatever, as long as I have some internet so I can keep people updated. You know, that's really what's important. And of course, as always, you got to be prepared for what's coming. You know, if there's a blackout, hopefully you got some food and water storage. Hopefully you got stuff, you know, right now it's summertime, maybe to keep you cool. You know, I don't know. Again, when the power goes out, it's not going to be like forever or an extensive period of time. It might be for a week, 2 weeks. Who knows how long it might be? Like, I can only see them doing it maybe a month at most. But you got to understand is that you're really going to see people who you thought you can trust not be trustworthy. People are going to panic. People are going to accept whatever the government gives them because, as I said earlier, all they have to do and what they always do is they just put you in fear. Everything people react off of is based on fear, and you want to be protected. You want to trade your freedoms and your safety for security, and we know how the quote goes, someone who does that deserves neither. So anyway, amongst all the riots going on, the LA riots, we have this. We have the military getting involved. We might have an attack on U.S. soil here. I mean, it's really, you can really see the chaos going on in the world, okay? And I'm not trying to fearmonger. I'm trying to make you aware of issues. And maybe you are aware, but here's the solution. The solution is actually simple. Stop feeding the beast. Stop complying. Turn your damn television off. Turn any mainstream news on your social media outlet, any social media influencer off, okay? Start actually trying to get curious about truth and understand it. Look into something like the Federal Reserve. Look into the truth about 9/11. I mean, look into the truth about Hollywood. These are basic starting points, if you're not aware of anything, for you to actually start to see the bigger picture of stuff, okay? So let me know what you guys think. I mean, I don't really know what else to say because, you know, I've been again, I feel like in my videos I just repeat a lot of what I've been saying for a long time. You know, it's people need to wake up to this. There's a bigger picture here. Trump, Israel, Iran, all these governments around the world are basically friends. You're watching a movie script unfold in front of you, okay? So, again, let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment, like, share. Please help me gain some traction because I'm a one-man show here. It's really hard to reach people, especially with the nature of my content. So any little support helps. Thank you.